Hello, Viddy of Video Games for Fun here, and welcome to the Brainstorming videos for the Top 25 Games Showcase for 2021, where I aim to involve as many people as possible talking about their favourite games. In this video, I'm going to talk about game selection. Here's the thing, I have said that you can choose any game you want, but I may have lied a bit there. You can choose any game you want, but there are some rules that are being put into effect. It is quite easy to say that this overcomplicates things, but I'll talk about that at the end of this video. For now, here are the rules that I'm putting into effect or are in a way still thinking about. Remakes are separate from game of origin. For example, Final Fantasy VII versus Final Fantasy VII Remake, Resident Evil versus Resident Evil Remake, and so on. With ports, remasters, enhanced versions, multi-platform releases, the game is all one entry. For example, the first Splinter Cell was released on Xbox, GameCube, PS2, PC and stuff, with some differences, but it's one entry. You're welcome to say which version you prefer when you say why you like the game. Kingdom Hearts also had a 1.5 release, but it's not separate, as it's essentially an enhanced version or remaster. Similar examples to the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 release are Ocarina of Time 3DS and the Metroid Prime re-releases on Wii and so on. Compilations or collections etc. are a tricky one, but I've decided not to have them. At least those that essentially feature full games that were previously released. Metroid Prime Trilogy, Super Mario All-Stars, Sonic Collection, Sega Collection, Remaster or HD Collections, etc. The games are separate entries, i.e. the free Metroid Prime games, the many Sonic games, etc. Surprisingly, compilations such as Clubhouse games for the Nintendo Switch can be on one's list. As hard as it can be, you have to be specific with your choices, which also means a series or franchise is not one entry. For example, if you choose Final Fantasy, well, that's the name of the first game in the Final Fantasy series. You want to have more than one Final Fantasy game on your list if you're a Final Fantasy fan? Go ahead. Another way to be specific is for games that have the same name. You know, Tomb Raider in 1996 and Tomb Raider in 2013. A bit obvious, but no joke answers. Nothing like the so bad it's good kind. Games should be chosen because you truly like them, that they are so good other people should play them. The hardest aspect. There are at least a couple of game franchises I'll have to make special rules for. Pokemon and puzzle games. Pokemon games. These will usually be grouped by generation. For example, Red, Green, Blue, Yellow are all one entry. However, its remakes, Fire Red or Leaf Green, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, are separate. They are remakes. Yellow, Crystal and so on are enhanced versions and are not separate from their counterparts. Puzzle games. These are harder to determine than Pokemon. There are so many Tetris games that really all versions of Tetris could be one entry. However, there are some suitably different variants. Weltris, Tetris, Wordtris, Tetrisphere, Puzzle League, aka Panel de Pon that started as Tetris Attack, Puyo Puyo, The Mindsul, is it Lumines? You get the picture. For Tetris, I'm thinking of all Tetris games as one entry if Tetris is one word by itself or as part of a title with more than one word. The exception being Tetris Attack. Tetrisphere is a word where the word Tetris isn't isolated, so that's an exception even gameplay-wise. Loosely speaking, this Tetris rule applies to all Tetris games that, differences aside, feature the same basic objective. Other puzzle game series are hard to determine in terms of differences, and for plentiful franchises with a possible exception of the Panel de Pon games being separate entries. Help me out here. And another rule, of course, the game has to exist according to books, magazines, the internet, etc. Some games are certainly very obscure, are known by a different name, or are only available in certain countries and so on. If you think the game is too old or obscure, provide evidence to me that it exists. The 1001 video games book I reviewed certainly had internet games and stuff. Again, use resources as such to pinpoint that they exist. You can ask me for info or jog in your memory if you want, but yeah, try to be as specific as possible. Saying, I'm trying to remember this game, it's an old shoot 'em up. Hey, many old shoot 'em up games exist. Look at 1001 video games. Even though I critiqued it, it's still a good read. And other books and magazines and guides, top games lists, your collection or collections, other people's collections, YouTube channels, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, etc. Also look at the variety of systems there are. The Nintendo consoles, Sony consoles, Microsoft consoles, computers, handhelds, phones. There are countless games to choose from, even if it may be purely a fond childhood memory. You might find some of your favorites around if you've forgotten. Try to have a few other games you like on backup or contingency in case any games on your list don't match the selection criteria. Above all, have fun choosing the games. If you think about not choosing a game for reasons like, not many people seem to like it, or you think not that many people have heard of it, choose it if you want or can. It's about the games you like. If there's one thing I've learned on my YouTube journey, is that you'd be surprised to learn that other people might like the same game as you, or be interested in playing it because you give at least one good reason why you like it. If you have any questions, and especially want to clarify certain game choices, feel free to ask me privately in regards to your list, or ask any other questions. So, as I said earlier, these rules are probably overcomplicated. I could just simply say, any game goes as long as it exists, and leave it at that. But it's mostly about balance, fairness, and variety. I mean, sure, if you like a certain series or franchise, have most of, if not all, of your choices originating from that if you want. I thought, with ideas such as compilations, it doesn't make sense or it seems unfair to an extent to see something like, say, a collection of previously released full games potentially taking the #1 spot. Of course, understandably, some of these rules you may not agree with, especially in regards to compilations or collections, remakes in regards to how different they are to their game of origin, enhanced versions or remasters, you get the picture. Again, this is where we brainstorm. There might be other things I've left out, and not just special exceptions for Pokemon and puzzle games. Again, as of this recording, one list has been submitted, and before this brainstorming video happened, that list actually followed the criteria. I researched for games that I didn't know or hear about that were on that list as well. Above all, when the project is officially announced, even while it's in effect with people thinking about their game choices, treat this as a fun challenge as we revisit our gaming memories, look at our collection or collections, and choose our favorite games and eventually say why we like them. Have a good day or night or whatever it is, and will there be another brainstorming video for this project? Probably not. Maybe I'll leave it up to the Discord channels or private messaging on social media now because I aim to make something else. See you next time.